And welcome to the July 24th, 2025 Select Board meeting. Welcome. So I'm going to make an announcement pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F. After notifying the chair of the public body, any person may record or transmit this open meeting. This hybrid meeting is being recorded by the town of Stockbridge. The names of members participating remotely will be announced. Any member of the public wishing to speak must first receive permission from the chair. The agenda items listed are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, but not all may be discussed. And other topics not listed may be brought up for discussion by the public body as permitted by law. All right, so our first. Okay, thank you. So I'd like to take action on minutes of April 10th, April 17th, and April 24th.
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that moves, passes. So I'd like to announce an opening on the Affordable Housing Trust. And if you're interested, please send an email to Teresa or Michael Canales at the town offices to let them know your interest. The next is discussion of HR procedures by our attorney, Donna Brewer. Do you want to start? Do you want Michael to open it? Do you want?
Apparently I'm starting. Yeah, so as you know, the select board is the appointing and disciplining and hiring and firing authority for a number of positions. The select board is also a public body. So that means that under the open meeting law, you are required to put on your agenda if you are going to hold a disciplinary hearing, you are required to put it on your agenda as an executive session. And you need to identify what you are going to be doing in sufficient specificity so that the member of the public knows what you are going to be discussing. Typically, personnel matters, matters of discipline, are kept confidential. You are not required to do that. You can hold disciplinary hearings in open session, but typically we do want to balance the public's right to know what is going on versus the individual's right to privacy. So typically what we've done here in Stockbridge is that we mirror the language of exemption 1 under the open meeting law to hold disciplinary hearings in executive session. We will identify the person. That's again, just our practice to do that. But the hearing itself will be confidential, and any outcome, any discipline that is taken against the person is kept confidential. That is not something the public is entitled to know. That's generally what we've done. And I believe that's the practice that the board has followed for as long as I've known it. Anybody have any questions? Michael?
No, overall, as I've stated before, when we get complaints and we regularly get complaints that happen, and a lot of them are very small complaints. As I laid out to you guys, I follow a very specific pattern, which is there validity to the complaint? Investigate the complaint. Once you investigate the complaint, make a recommendation or take action on the complaint, and depending on how far it comes up, can vary. We've had a few happen recently, and a lot of times they're just small things that actually are either misunderstandings or other things, which I can, if you guys want me, I can give examples of things, smaller things that have happened if you think it'd be helpful for people to understand. Do you want me to give an example like a smaller one, or how we just go about it when it happens?
Yeah.
Yeah. So recently we had a complaint come in that our police officers were partially responsible for stuff that was taken by the movers during an eviction.
Oh, I remember.
So right away, first thing I do is, okay, was there any validity to it? Yes, we were at the scene. Okay, let's investigate it. Spoke to the officer that was involved. They were called by the sheriff's office because there was, the sheriff's office asked for backup to keep the peace. Sent a letter to the person saying the sheriff's office did the eviction with bonded movers. This is not a Stockbridge issue. Take it up with the sheriff's office. So there's just a small one that went through a couple steps, but very quickly, but it's still the same steps that we follow. So we try to, and it can be everywhere from investigating, we hit somebody's mailbox with our plow. Okay, is there validity? Is there investigation? What happened? And then you get into more serious ones, like if we have a vehicle get in an auto accident, look into what was the reason, what was the validity, what was the rest. So, and every one we try to follow the same step. Everything's documented so that there's no nothing. If it comes back, here it is, it's written out, and the rest, depending on what it is, it can involve either legal counsel if it has to go beyond, or actually quite often more than legal counsel. Usually these ones are dealing with the insurance company. If it's a complaint about our guys hitting a vehicle or backing into a vehicle or something like that happens. But we get complaints like that quite often. And a lot of times they're small, they're resolved by just looking into the issue itself and then addressing it and responding to it. Obviously, in all these cases, the people can say, I want to speak to the select. Okay, yeah, if they want to bring it up further, but a lot of times we're able to clear it up right in those first 4 steps. And then obviously there's other issues that have to go further than that, which require all the way up and could end up before the select board, who is the final authority in all decisions.
So I guess, for clarification, but I think you already said, Donna, we always run it past, like if either the select board or the town manager, Michael, would run by you or Christopher any kind of wording if we had an executive session or needed an open session. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Did you have a question?
Do you want to offer questions to them?
Public? Or public?
Anita?
Anita Schwerner, would you like to speak?
You're muted, Anita.
I know.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, and it says it's unable to start the video because the host has stopped it. So you can't see my new haircut.
We did that, just to let you know, we did that because it wasn't long ago, we had somebody use the video feed to feed a pornographic image into a meeting. So we are now suspending and that.
I'll go on record that that was not me. Okay, my name is Anita Schwerner, I'm resident of Stockbridge, and thank you, Madam Chair, for letting me speak. And Donna, I do have questions for you, which is I understand the requirements that personnel issues need to be discussed in executive session unless the employee has requested open session. My question is, why did the July 2nd Select Board meeting agenda include unnecessary derogatory statements? The agenda cites Massachusetts General Law C30A, Section 21A1. I read that section of the law, and it states that a public body may meet in executive session only for the following purposes, which, I mean, I can read them: to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health, rather than professional competence of an individual, or to discuss the discipline or dismissal of, or complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. It does not state that it is necessary to include all that information in the agenda. Section B3 states that before the executive session, the chair shall state the purpose for the executive session, stating all subjects that may be revealed without compromising the purpose for which the executive session was called. Obviously, there was no, the meeting was canceled, but I'd like to know, have an explanation of why the agenda was written the way it was, which led to negative speculation about the employee's character, when all that needed to be stated was that the board would have an executive session to discuss a personnel matter, and you're saying that tradition includes the employee's name. But I have never seen an agenda item that says they're going to discuss the reputation, character, and potential discipline of the employee. And Section 1 does not state that those things need to be included in the agenda. As I said, Section B3 states that the chair should state those things before going into executive session. So why were they included?
So a couple of things. First, I want to correct a misstatement where you said they have to be in executive session unless the employee calls for it to be an open session. That's not what the law says. The law says that it may be in executive session. So in the first instance, the select board can decide to hold it in open session and not call for an executive session. And in fact, as you know, the law defaults to trying to have everything in open session. So it was actually to the individual's benefit to have it in executive session. Secondly, it is not sufficient for the agenda to say just personnel matter, because you cannot have professional evaluations in executive session. Those have to be in open session, and just calling it a personnel matter would not inform the public that the executive session was being properly held. Third, what you're looking at for subsection B3, that is addressed to what is said at the beginning of the meeting when you go into executive session. It does not address what needs to be in the agenda. And in the agenda, you need to list what is the purpose for going into the executive session. So that is what the agenda on July 2nd did. And all it did was parrot what is in the purpose 1 in the open meeting law exemption for going into executive session.
I did read that it says the public body may meet in executive session. And
Yeah,
it gives the purposes, but it does not state that those things have to be put in the agenda.
yes, it does.
Where
And
does it state that?
the Attorney General will tell you that it has to be in the agenda. The agenda must state what the reasons for going into executive session are. And I can direct you to there are numerous open meeting law decisions that will say this, but you can look at open meeting law 2015 item 11, 2015-11. We generally consider a topic to include sufficient specificity when a reasonable member of the public could read the topic and understand the anticipated nature of the public body's discussion. That is required to be in the agenda.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, seeing no other questions. We thank you, Donna, for your
Sure.
explanation. We can move on to the discussion of the Pine Street Court status, community input and the agreement with Austin Riggs. And a few, what was it, last meeting, we did talk about it. We had several people email in. We had a citizen do a poll. Do you want to
Yeah, so we
mention
got.
any results?
Yeah, we got quite a bit of feedback on what people were thinking about. I only, with everything else going on, I was only able to get to today typing up my recommendation to the board. I did just hand it to Chauncey from Austin Riggs. And I know Austin Riggs gave us a letter stating, if we were to work on behalf of taking out the courts. Sorry that I dropped this on you, but I wasn't able to get to it sooner. If you want, I can read through based on what I saw, I could read through my recommendation to the board.
That would be terrific.
Thanks. So following the completion of the recent community outreach regarding the future of the Pine Street courts, I'm writing to summarize the results and outline a proposed path forward based on the public input and operational feasibility. Public feedback revealed a range of options, but no single option received a majority. The poll demonstrated a diversity of opinion, with many residents supporting a restoration of Pine Street courts and continuation of lease, while others favor exploring alternate recreational use or converting the site into a passive park. Was limited. There was little support for returning the land to Austin Riggs, for eliminating the recreational use entirely. Quite a bit, I'm going off this a little bit, but some people did express how they feel nostalgia for the park. They learned there, everything else. So there's definitely a feeling, because for 50 years, there's been parks there. Overall, most residents desired to see the site remain an active community asset. Written feedback reinforced that this preference for recreation, in particular, strong support of incorporating pickleball, was mentioned more than any other activity. Residents advocated for a dedicated or shared pickleball courts, flexible multi-sport design, or preserving tennis at the quieter Pine Street location, including requests for a practice wall. Other suggestions include basketball, volleyball, non-sports activities, outdoor fitness space. Some comments emphasized equity and accessibility and calling for inclusive design for year-round usage and adapted recreational infrastructure, particularly at Main Street, while preserving Pine Street as a distinct value community space. The recommended path forward, given this feedback and the complexity of this decision, what I thought looking at this was that we could conduct some additional public outreach, schedule a public meeting for the first week in September when the board's expected to return to its full membership. This session would provide an opportunity for further input, deliberation. But I feel like we should focus on the two options that seem to be the ones that, to me, seem like the options we should focus on. One is remove the park, install a modular net system here at Main Street. The system would accommodate multiple sports, pickleball, tennis, volleyball, across 3 courts, 2 with flexible use, 1 a dedicated pickleball court, which in the winter would serve as a skating rink. Option 2 would be to retain Pine Street as a dedicated tennis and basketball facility, like it's been for its entire history, with a practice wall, install a modular net system still at Town Hall for multi-sports. This would give us 2 dedicated tennis courts at Pine Street, 1 dedicated pickleball winter skating court at Main Street, and 2 modular multi-use courts at Main Street. This is the net system that would allow you to adjust from pickleball to tennis to volleyball. So then we would basically have 5 courts and could accommodate a lot of sports that way. Option 2 would expand the recreational offering in the town. It would also create 2 distinct uses of the property compared to mirroring. So you'd have dedicated pickleball, volleyball, or alternate tennis with a pickleball and skating. If option 2 was the recommended approach, keeping tennis there is beneficial because it's quieter and less trafficked. Typically when people show up to play tennis, we're not talking a bunch of cars. Pickleball, definitely there's going to be a bunch of people, there's going to be cars, we're going to need bathrooms. That should stay here at town hall. That's at least my recommendation to you. If we decide to go with the option 2, then I think we put it to town meeting. And if town meeting did appropriate funds for it, we could improve the Pine Street and Main Street and do the 5-court recreational system. If town meeting doesn't appropriate the funds, we immediately use what we have in the spring to restore the court, restore the grounds, and then return it to Austin Riggs. I know this is putting you on the spot. What do you think the feelings are of giving us a little more time, but committing to one of those, or how does?
Yeah, I think we'll be patient. We have been.
Yeah.
You have.
To be patient. So, yeah, we look forward to what if you go in September, what is the outcomes.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Well, like, people should know that we are doing the pickleball court.
Yeah, we are putting
That
in,
would have been started, but we had to push it because of the crafts fair.
right.
So that's gonna be in. We are putting in a backboard.
Yeah, we can put a backboard up here
That's
also.
That's
Right.
in the process of being done.
Yeah.
And where
So
will
we
that
are
be?
working on some of the issues.
Yeah, Park and
Already.
Rec Committee is taking those things on.
Yeah.
They fall underneath them. They're also adding the pavilion for
So
concerts.
doing in there,
So,
and also the checkerboard and chess tables
Yeah,
out here. So things are moving forward on a lot of the stuff that is being brought up.
right. So,
Right. And do we reconvene in August, September?
September.
Like
I thought
after
that we'd
Labor
do it
Day?
in the first meeting in September, so our new member can come on board, get caught up in it, and the rest.
So first.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I wasn't sure
Someone's
if
unmuted.
there's any.
Michael, someone's not muted.
I know you had concerns. Those are my recommendations.
And would that be okay, the first meeting in September? Great, thank you for your patience. Sally's unmuted. You fix that.
Oh, she has her hand up.
Sally, did you have a
Right.
question? Sally,
Gary
under-
Miller here. Hello?
We can hear
Am I
you.
in? Are we communicating?
It's
Yeah.
my husband.
Hi,
Yes, we can hear you.
it says Charlotte Underwood.
Didn't sound
Miller,
like you.
but She's a lot better looking than I. Sorry. I just wanted to say how excited I was that this Pine Street court was being addressed. I learned to play tennis there, and it's just a very special court, as Michael addressed. The fact that it's a quieter court, especially for those of us who are a little bit older, Jim Hurley and I and Doug Ousley all kind of fit in that category. And it's really nice to be able to hear each other, not without, cars and motorcycles and every other bloody thing going by. And it's just such a nice, quiet little court to play on. I would be perfectly happy to share it with pickleball people. But I would love to see the two courts be restored to where we can play on them again. Also because, currently it's a bloody eyesore. So anyway, there's just 2 cents from another local.
Thank
Oh, thank
you.
you.
And I would like to say, we'll use SurveyMonkey. I'll send a link to it to the Edge. I'll send a link to updates.
Okay.
And I will, Patty, I'll send you a link so people can go right into our survey, and we'll ask those questions and we'll get more feedback and then meet in September. And I will share ahead of time. We'll set it so like mid-August to get the results in, share with Austin Riggs what the result is from the community, and then work with a plan. But what we laid out is by next summer, it's either going to be fixed or removed. So to meet Austin Riggs' concerns and let the community speak on it.
Patty?
Can I just, I'm so glad you guys are sticking to tennis on the Pine Street location. There was a neighbor who came to the Park Rec meeting last night. Pickleball is super loud, and if you're a
Yes.
neighbor, it's like a nationwide problem.
Yes.
I'm glad they're doing pickleball, and I hope at the town hall here, it's a better location for that, and she was so gracious. She's supportive of the whole, like, keeping there and everything, but she was hoping that you keep pickleball here and not there.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
I took that into consideration in making my recommendation. There were some very nice letters written explaining that too, how this is the better location for tennis there and pickleball here. And we know that it's a growing sport. And instead of conflicting, we do have an opportunity if people do want it to expand our recreational. And if we put in that net system, I know the people that were playing volleyball could then play volleyball in the summer on the outdoor court also. So we actually could end up expanding. Yeah,
People, if you haven't heard it, it's surprising, like the clip.
I played it.
Oh, okay.
We had the league in the North Adams Armory, and yeah, it was something to hear indoors. It's quite loud. Yes.
Dawn?
Is there a plan to, in however this develops and grows or gets curtailed over there and more over here, to make this all available to people beyond Stockbridge residents? I mean, there's signage that says you have to be a Stockbridge resident, and I don't think that that's enforced. I don't know.
Well,
It's
It's kind of hard to enforce.
So I think there is a sign, is there a sign on the tennis?
There's on the Austin Rig one.
So all right, I will, so we should get those removed.
Yeah, it is under, yeah.
Yeah,
It's off-putting.
Yeah.
I didn't.
It is
I haven't
off-putting.
seen them,
all right.
but yeah, we should have those removed.
Because if you restrict the use of a park, you're not covered under the Recreational Use Act,
Yeah.
which generally indemnifies
No, I'm
the,
for everybody being able to
So,
be there. I just wondered
yeah.
if they was there, like.
We'll get those signs off because the idea is that recreational facilities, like I said, if you go to Boston Commons, they don't tell you you're not a resident, you can't use it and the rest. But you are allowed, the only thing, so people understand, you are allowed to restrict parking. So I've always said, if you look at, like, if you go to the beaches of the Cape, anybody can walk onto the beach of the Cape, but if you want to park your car, you can. And actually I know Lennox enforces that on parking for Laurel Lake. So, yeah, so you can enforce parking, but the use of public property is open to the public because we get state and federal money. So it's supposed to be open to everybody if we want to have that protection. So I'll get those signs removed next week.
Mention too, we got an email on the board email today or yesterday, with a similar question about the beach. They said they read in several places online that the beach is for residents only, and
I think that was a COVID thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're referring to, so I asked them to let me know where they read
I
this.
thought it was just
because
for residents.
There's a
I
sign.
thought it was a
There's
COVID.
a sign that residents only
There used to be.
Parking, yes.
for parking.
Well, no, my understanding is the town had a lot of signs up in the past. And I'm not sure why, but maybe there's a reason behind it. But like I said, in general, you're usually not allowed to restrict the use. What you can do is restrict the parking. So we really should be removing those because we want the maximum protection under the Recreational Use Act. So that people that are using if you're playing a sport and you get hurt playing a sport, that's your own responsibility. But there is case law to show that if you do restrict the use of it, you may lose that protection. So I will ask staff to scrub the website and make sure that there are none of those there. I do know that during COVID, some of that was put up because a lot of places restricted the use, and those were special times, special rules, and we need to get back to the general concept.
When I hear back from that person about where they read it, I'll forward it to you.
Thank you.
I do remember that growing up, that was always residents only,
Oh, is that right? Oh.
but I
Yeah.
didn't go there very often.
And you can say resident only for parking. We got the town beach, and that's perfectly.
I don't think it
should
ever
stay
was
that.
enforced.
Yeah.
So
We should
Done.
have it clear so we can, if we're not liable or anything.
Dawn, did you have a clarity?
I was just wondering about the fence at the Pine Street Court that was replaced a couple of years ago. And who bore that expense, and if that doesn't stay a court,
is that money, I mean, that's.
If the decision, we would reuse the
We would
fence up
use-
here.
We could take it.
But
Mhm.
yes, we've already said that we could. If there's one mistake that was made is that, not realizing that the base was bad, they wouldn't warranty the work for, just resurfacing. We should have, it was done out of sequence but the fence is all there. So if we do decide to go forward, it's really just removing the fence, setting it down, tearing up, we're putting it, and then the fence will come right back
We
on.
would use the new basketball backboards in the gym. So we would use them. So we wouldn't be throwing money away.
Yeah, but good question.
Yeah.
We'll see what the
We'll see how it
community
goes.
speaks and
And what we
talk
can
in
do,
September.
No, we can afford.
right?
It's not gonna be cheap to what we do.
All right. Seeing no other questions, did you have any questions? Okay. We'll move on to review town fee schedules. So there's been sort of, we have not looked at our fee schedules in many, many, many years, and some things are outdated. So we're just starting the process. Can we mute Sally, please? Thanks. Of kind of looking at things and seeing what's antiquated and what needs to be updated. And Michael, did you want to go over?
I don't think we need to go over it tonight. So just,
Okay.
I wanted to get this to the board to begin review.
Mhm.
I've been here now, I'll be 5 years as of October, and we have yet to do a review of our schedule of fees.
Okay,
So we're doing a comprehensive, complete study of it. You guys have the first draft of it.
Mhm.
So I thought that we get it out today. We let people know that we're examining the fee schedule.
Okay.
We can post the draft of it up of what we're looking
Oh,
at
that's a
right
good
now, give whatever feedback we can, and then re-examine these fees, make a recommendation, and then move forward with changes to it
perfect.
and that. So I just wanted to say that we're just starting the process, and it's something that we probably should do at least every 3 years. Review where our fees are. You know, we began last year when we examined the transfer station fees, because we noticed that the costs were greatly outpacing the cost that we were charging. So we want to get this in where at least every so many years we're reviewing our fee schedule. And whether we make
And then-
changes or not will be up to you guys.
Right, and then it doesn't rattle the residents when something jumps, you know?
Right, it allows us to increment. and-
Yeah.
All of a sudden, yes, we don't want to do another big one. We want to take the time.
That's
Yes.
hard.
Yeah.
For everyone. Discuss August meeting schedule. So our plan is August 21st at 6:30, normal time. And then anticipating interviews for the first 2 weeks of August. And we may or may not have a meeting before August 21st. And then we would meet after the Labor Day holiday, which is September 4th, I believe. It is September
Yeah, that's.
7th, sorry. So we've,
It's as late
right?
as it can be.
No, that's August, sorry. So it would be the 4th.
Fourth, yep.
So, all right, so I'll say that again because I don't want to mix anyone up. So August 21st is a set meeting at 6:30. And then September 4th, the new board. And then maybe a meeting the first 2 weeks of August, but we won't set a date. And this allows for people's vacations and summer plans and some flexibility. So I hope that's okay, amenable to everyone. And I don't think we have any announcements, right?
Nope.
Chuck, anything?
No, I'm good.
All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming and participating.